He is a senior lecturer at Kenyatta University and a respected voice in governance, policy and public leadership. He has a passion for youth empowerment. He brings wisdom, depth and vision to every platform, inspiring minds and shaping futures through education and service. Please welcome Dr. Jacob Magero.
Makofi yake tafadhali.
Thank you. God is good, and all the time. My name is Dr. Jacob Magero. I was invited to give a talk, a brief talk on service before self, the true heart of healthcare. I'll be very strict, to the point, to the topic. Let me begin by saying that the vast and complex healthcare system comprises a wide range of workers, including physicians, nurses, technicians, administrators, and other support staff. Even in technology and technological development, have had a profound impact on healthcare. The true essence of this industry lies in the kind hearts and unwavering commitment of people who dedicate their lives to the admirable goal of caring for others. It is a dedication that calls for self-sacrifice, the giving up of something that is valued or desired in favor of something that has or is thought to have a higher or a more pressing claim. At the core of healthcare lies more than medicine, procedures, or protocols. It is a deeply human enterprise shaped by values like dignity, empathy, moral responsibility. Among these, the principle of service before self stands out as a powerful call to put others first, often at the great personal cost. As Jean Watson, an American nurse theorist and nursing professor, said, nurses are a unique kind. They have this insatiable need to care for others, which is both their greatest strength and fatal flaw. Health workers have to make sacrifices from the start of their employment. Providing patient care is frequently a demanding, emotional, physically difficult, and occasionally unappreciated task. There is also a quote that I want to cite from an unknown writer who said, "Save one life, you are a hero. Save 100 lives, you are a nurse." Service before self is a tenet that encourages the virtues of selflessness, commitment, and prioritizing the needs of others or a greater good over one's own interests. It is not just a slogan, it is a way of life. It is a heartbeat that defines the calling of those who choose to walk alongside others at their most vulnerable moments. It acts as a reminder to put service and the greater good first while making decisions and doing actions. Across the globe, healthcare practitioners operate under ethical frameworks like Hippocratic Oath. However, beyond formal codes, what truly matters is how these values are lived out in daily practice. This idea resonates deeply with African ethical thought, especially Ubuntu philosophy. Ubuntu centers on the idea that person's humanity is affirmed and realized through relationships with others. In healthcare, this principle elevates caregiving from a task to a moral obligation rooted in communal solidarity. A A healthcare giver who embraces Ubuntu is not merely doing their job, they are acting on the belief that their well-being is bound to that of the patient and the broader community. To the preceding extent, a good healthcare provider does not just follow rules, they embody qualities such as honesty, compassion, selflessness. It is also notable that religious and spiritual traditions around the world uphold these values, that is, honesty, compassion, and selflessness. In Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and African spirituality, caring for the sick is sacred. Since medical enterprise, or rather medical expertise is ever-changing, the healthcare workers must continuously upgrade their knowledge and abilities through continuing education. These include participating in research, going to conferences, and keeping up with the most recent developments in medicine. Medical competence is regarded as the foundation of healthcare and is exemplified by those who dictate their careers to acquiring the necessary knowledge, or rather dedicate their careers to acquiring the necessary knowledge, abilities, and moral standards to provide patients with the best treatment possible. The route to become an expert in medicine is long and requires a deep dedication to learning and remaining up to date in a sector that is ever changing. Ideally, the mere fact that the medical institution is accessible would lead to one concluding that healthcare professionals are frequently thought to be impervious to disease or damage. However, the healthcare sector is among the most dangerous places to work. Workers in this sector are continuously subjected to a wide range of intricate health and safety risks while performing their duties. The core of healthcare is more than just diagnosing and treating illnesses. It thrives on the deep empathy, concern, and dedication shown by individuals who devote their lives to the welfare of others. Healthcare providers are more than just healers. They are also consoling, teaching, and ardent supporters of their patients. These qualities are especially important during emergencies like pandemics, when medical professionals dedicate themselves fully to helping their populations. The guiding ideals of compassion, caring, and dedication guarantee that healthcare is not only a science, but also an art form that cures not only bodies, but also hearts and souls. Self-interest, greed, and desire influence people's behavior just as much as they do that of nations. It is crucial that healthcare professionals have a strong feeling of service before self because of this. People sometimes become cunning, self-centered beings who will stop at nothing to make ends meet, disregarding the basic professional principles. Building an inner character requires putting service before self. Everyone's heart ought to go through the moral process of developing inner integration and tranquility. And as the great Socrates, an outstanding philosopher, said, an unexamined life is not worth living. Know thyself. An unexamined life is not worth living. Know thyself. As human beings, we commit time, money, effort, and energy to the advancement of our society when we prioritize the service over our personal self-interest. Instilling a sense of humility via community service raises human collective self-awareness, enabling them to recognize their shortcomings and work towards bettering the status of the community, country, and the world at large. In traditional African societies, healers are seen not just as health workers, but as spiritual custodians. Healers are seen not just as health workers, but as spiritual custodians. Their knowledge is passed through generations, guided by the ancestors, rooted in the sacred duty to protect life. Their service is not transactional, it is spiritual. To serve in healthcare is therefore to honor life in its fullness. The most powerful medicine is care, and the most effective caregiver is the one who serves with selfless love. Now, coming from a philosophy background, I want to leave you with a few very specific quotes from the great, outstanding philosopher Socrates. With regard to the value of education, you are students, you have been students, you've graduated, but this is just the beginning. And you'll continue being students as you further your studies. So with regard to the value of education, Socrates said there is only one good, knowledge, and only one evil, ignorance. With regard to kindness to all, be kind for everyone you meet. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. With regard to service before self, he who is not a good servant will not be a good master. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. And with regard to, as I finish, with regard to primitive accumulation of wealth, opulence, and wastage, the relevant quote is, the secret of happiness is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy life. To enjoy less. The secret of happiness is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy life, or rather, enjoy less. On tribalism, ethnicity, and the need for embracing a global village and egalitarian humanism, Socrates said, I'm not an Athenian or a Greek, but a citizen of the world. I am not an Athenian or a Greek, but a citizen of the world. The last quote that I want to share with you, especially and particularly for the young men, by all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you will be happy. If you get a bad one, you will become a philosopher. On that note, I want to end my sharing with you and congratulate all, and thank you very much, the chairperson of the board, for honoring me to come and share the few words with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much indeed, Daktari. Asante sana.